Episode 39 of the Boomtank Business Show. Today's guest has an amazing backstory. He had it all going on, lost it, then earned it all back. At this stage, his business is set to gross $1 million by year's end and net $1 million the following year. His YouTube channel has over 2 million views. He has over 30,000 email subscribers and currently over 4,000 members in his membership site. We talk about how he did it and where he's going next. Hear big, priceless business lessons in this one. You don't want to miss this great entrepreneurial comeback and build it solid success story. Copyright Boomtank Media, LLC, 2017. Fooling Force. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Boomtank Business Show for sharp female entrepreneurs and businesswomen who are ready to shine. A show about more freedom, more income, less worries, and cutting-edge information for you to create and grow your business. From branding to social media, marketing to the latest technologies, we've got you covered. Now, here's your host, Carolyn Cole.
Welcome to the Boomtank Business Show for sharp female entrepreneurs and cool guys who support them. This is a show about building your business and your personal development. Why personal development? Because your personal growth is the biggest key to your business success. I am your show host, Carolyn Cole, founder and business owner of Boomtank.com. I was a Fortune 100 and Fortune 200 company senior trial attorney. Now I make the case on behalf of your business dreams as an online public speaking PR expert. I help entrepreneurs go pro now with their professional talks, live streams, podcast interviews, and other online appearances. I also do inner game coaching and am a business strategist. Go pro now to differentiate yourself and your business as pro in the crowded online business space. Contact me for expert professional help or to book me as your next business or motivational speaker. Carolyn at Boomtank.com. Remember, visibility is the lifeblood of your business. Get seen, get heard now. Boomtank.com. Today's very special guest has helped thousands of students learn how to open their first trading account, and that's stock trading. Learn how to read stock charts and gain confidence in their trading. He helps others get started trading in the stock market and power up their trading by using the power of options. In short, he helps them begin to master the market. That's his entrepreneurial specialty with a great, inspiring backstory. Never give up. He is Jason Brown of thebrownreport.com. His Facebook group, The Brown Report, has over 21,000 followers at this time. He's just back from speaking at FinCon, the Financial Conference 2017 in Dallas. Congratulations, Jason, on that one. That's a good one.
Thank you.
And he has the podcast, The Brown Report, Stock Report, that is rolling into ears all over the globe. Jason, it is an absolute thrill to have you on the show. Welcome. Here's the applause for you.
Carolyn, I'm pumped to be here. Thanks for having me.
In fairness to you, you have just gotten back from extensive travel for your business. How's that treating you?
Oh, it's treating me great. It's a blessing to be able to travel, go share the story, go network with other people. And some of it was for fun, too. Was out in California with my wife, took her out there to the Real Housewives restaurant at Pump and Serve for her birthday. So some of it was fun. Some of it was business. It was awesome.
What does your wife think of your entrepreneurial journey? And we're going to discuss what that journey is momentarily. What does she think?
My wife is just proud. You know, she saw the entire thing. She saw me not making money. She saw me make money, then lose a lot of money. She saw me build it all back. So it's been a roller coaster for her. I'm sure there were times where she wondered, do I really know what I'm doing, or do I really believe in this track that I'm on? Well, I knew I believed in it. I think she probably had the question if she believed in it. But now I think she gets to relax a little bit, enjoy some of the fruits of the labor, since it's not so much up and down. It's just been up and up. So that's what she thinks.
Let's go to your backstory. I saw a video you posted. There was a point in your life where you were doing what most people did. You had a job, you had your own place, and you made a decision to go for your dream. It involved the stock market. It involved having your own business. It involved being an entrepreneur. It involved maybe coaching and training others. Take us back to that time when you made that decision.
Yeah, so I always knew I wanted to be an investor and be an entrepreneur. So you may be thinking like, well, how did you always know that? Well, I knew that because we had no money. We didn't have any investments. And so I didn't really like the lifestyle that we lived. And I always saw other people and I'm like, well, how do they have the car, the homes? How do they get to send their kids to school without debt and different things like that? It really got me interested at an early age in business and investing and different things like that. I think what really opened my eyes to making money the smart way, which is with a business with time leverage, with residual or passive income, was joining network marketing at a young age. Because, in network marketing, they teach you to make a list of all your friends and family, invite them over for a home presentation and all that stuff. But what I really learned from that was public speaking. I learned some principles of wealth, of being able to have other people work for you, or at least contribute to your income and do it as a team. I learned how to take a small amount of income. Like you could start a network marketing business with like $99 or $500, like a Mary Kay, Avon, whatever. And so it really just taught me some of that grit and that grind at a young age. And that's how I knew I wanted to be in this space with teaching, coaching, training, and entrepreneurship and investing.
You, at some point in time, made the sacrifice and big decision to sell everything you had, move from where you were established, go back to the backyard of your mother. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So the backstory to that is I made a ton of money. I took a $10,000 student loan and I turned it into a six-figure trading account. So I'm like 21 or 22 at this time. I made over six figures in the stock market, but I made it off borrowed money from the student loan because I had a scholarship and I applied for the student loan as well because I knew they would both pay and the refund check would come to me. And I believed in my skills and what I was learning in the stock market that I could grow that money. And so I grew it. And then I became a full-time trader for about 3 years, just doing my thing, making money in the stock market. And like anybody else who's young with a lot of money, I bought a car, moved to the suburbs. I bought like a Lexus, put it on 20-inch rims, did all the stupid stuff you probably shouldn't do. And then I also didn't pay taxes for like 3 years, which I thought I was going to be able to write off all this stuff. I was able to write off none of it. And so I ended up with a huge tax liability. Once I started having success, there's something very interesting happened. I stopped doing what it took to get me there. Like I stopped studying the stock charts. I stopped waking up early, following my investments. And sure enough, I started to lose money. So I lost all of my money. I was in debt. I owed the federal government for taxes. I also owed the federal government because I never paid back the student loan. I actually did a Hail Mary at my job. I had like some money left in my 401k and I did a Hail Mary and pulled that out. I was like, oh, I'm going to invest it. But at this point, I'm not even following the principles that I did to get me there. So inevitably, I lost that money too. And I just had to take a hard look at where I was currently at. And I knew I would be back, but I was like, well, how do I get back? And I remember telling my god brother, I said, if I ever lost all my money, I would just sell everything and start all over again. And sure enough, I don't know if it was a self-fulfilling prophecy, but lost all my money, was in debt. And so I knew what I had to do. I said, I need to sell everything. I need to stop the bleeding. Like most people, when they're in a sinking boat, instead of coming to the reality, like, let's just ditch this boat, get on a life raft. And then once we get to land or whatever, like we'll start over. Most people want to go down with the ship. Not me. I was like, I'm selling my furniture. I'm moving back home with my mom. I'm going back to get a job because I had quit my job at that point and spent the 401k money trying to invest it. So I knew the ship was going down. I had to stop the water from coming in, stop the bleeding, whatever analogy people can relate with. And so I moved back home because I knew once I got stable, I could clear my mind again and I could begin to rebuild the right way and kind of take the things that I learned that got me in that situation and never get back to that situation.
Fast forward to where you are now, a relatively short period of time. How long has it been since you were at your mother's?
It's probably been about 4 years. It wasn't that long ago, maybe just over 5 years. So fast forward now, I ended up getting back into the game. So what I looked at was, how do I get back into the game? And then how do I turn this into a win for myself? And I knew I wanted to get back into the stock markets. I went and got a sales job. I realized that if I could base my lifestyle off the hourly, I could take the commission and I can start to pay down debt and I can start to invest. I started taking the commission money and investing again. I made sure my lifestyle stayed below my hourly. So if I didn't even make a commission check, I made enough hourly. I wanted to make sure my lifestyle didn't increase so that my hourly could pay for it. And then I just got back into the investment game. And right around that time, I'm always thinking about, how do I get more money in the stock market? How do I get more money? Because I knew what I was able to do with a $10,000 student loans. I was able to turn it into multiple six figures. And so I'm thinking, how do I get more money in the market? That's what I'm always asking myself. And that led me to internet marketing. It led me to, how could I take what I know about the stock market, take all the lessons I learned about losing money, having to move back home, and how can I help somebody else avoid that and at the same time get paid so that I can put more money into the stock market? And hence the Brown Report was born. I started blogging and tweeting and sharing my trades, and people were making money off my trades. And I was part of somebody else's paid monthly program where they talked about the stock market and did coaching. And it got to a point where I was right about my trades the same amount of times that person was right about their trades. I would even pick the same trades before they announced it. And so I said, wow, I'm on that person's level. I wonder if people would pay me for my advice. Shouldn't say advice, for my coaching, for my insight, for my mindset, for understanding how this industry works, for making money, losing it, and making it back. And so that's when I started to research, how to market online, how to build a membership site, and how to grow a following. And since then, we've been able to, like you said, we got 21,000 followers on Facebook, but we don't even follow those numbers. We got over 2 million views on YouTube, thousands of subscribers on YouTube, over 30,000 subscribers on our email list. But the point was, that was the point where I started to look for, how do I turn this into a business so I can help people and at the same time get paid for it, and then allow myself to use that money to invest in the stock market. And so you fast forward to today, our stock market education company did just under $500,000 this past year. We're well on a track to do over $1 million in gross revenue, and I'm sure over $1 million in profit in the coming years. We've been helping tons of people learn how the stock market works, how to open their first trading account, how to make some money in this market. And I think the reason we've been so successful is because when I look back at the stock market in this industry and marketing as well, I always think, like, how come people aren't telling it like it is? How come they're not explaining things in layman terms? How come everyone's trying to sound so smart? And I realize in the financial industry, they like to sound smart because they want you to turn their money over to you. And sometimes that also happens in the marketing, sales and marketing online industry. Everyone wants to sound smart or like they got some secret sauce. And I found out, if you just be genuine and you just help people and you don't try to be too smart, you just explain it in a way that they can understand, that they can actually take the information and actually go do something with it, you'll be successful, whether that's trying to teach the stock market or trying to teach internet marketing. And that's what I found.
How do you grow a following, Jason?
So when it comes to growing the following, I found just being authentic is what allows you to grow a following. So let me give you an example. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was just talking about this at FinCon. If you look at some of my older videos, you'll notice that it was always a screenshot. So I would share my screen, I would show my logo, but I would never share like my face. And there was a limiting belief I had. I'm like, well, I'm young, I'm Black or African American. Who's going to identify with a young African American Black male? Because everyone in this industry is older, white male, and kind of real proper talking. And what I found was, once I stepped into my brand, right? I remember like it was yesterday, I was talking to a buddy at work. I was like, man, I'm stepping into the brand this year. I was like, it's going to be my face on the website. It's going to be my face on the YouTube video. It's going to be me on the Facebook Lives, not me just sharing my screen. And what I found from that, when you ask, how do you grow a following? Once you step into your brand and you stop hiding behind the computer screen, people really want to know who they're doing business with. Who are they giving their money to? Who's this person that they're trying to identify with. And they can't identify with you as long as you're hiding behind your logo, as long as you're hiding behind your website. And so I found growing the brand is just been about being authentic. It's about being you so that you attract the right followers. You don't want to be fake and then you attract the wrong people. Then when the real you shows up, they're like, who is this guy or this girl? And then also being front and center, saying I have nothing to hide. I'm sharing my wins as well as my failures. Most people just want to come on and share their wins and how they're crushing it. But people can't identify with that because people have had some bumps, some bruises, the ups and downs and the roller coasters. And people really want to know, that you're not a superhero or a superhuman, that you're human just like them. You had trials and tribulations, but you found a way to overcome it. So just being authentic, being real, stepping into your brand, not hiding behind the computer screen. I found that has worked for me as far as growing my following.
You use podcasts, videos, blogging. You have an arsenal of how you approach getting the word out and growing your following and promoting your products. What does podcasting and video casting do for you?
When I'm doing video, again, they get to see my personality. If you look at some of our videos, even when we make mistakes, we'll take the mistakes and we'll create a blooper reel at the end. And it's just to show you that like this perfect video that you saw, it really took 50 takes, or I fumbled and bumbled over my words. And so that video just allow me to reach people all around the world and for them to see my mannerism, see my face, and really just connect with me. So I love video. That's like my number one medium. And it also allows me to share my screen and teach something that, with respect to the stock market, is really a visual industry, right? How do you look at the stock chart? How do you determine when to buy and sell? So video, from it being my face in there or it being me sharing my screen and teaching, has been so powerful. And it allows us to also keep our costs low because we don't have to buy a physical building for somebody to come fly to us for a live seminar. And now we have to charge a whole bunch of money because we got to cover this brick and mortar building. So it really allows us to get our message out there in a cost-effective way. As far as podcasting goes, though, it really helps us deliver a different message. When most people listen to podcasts, it's in their car, it's at the gym, it's while they're cleaning up, and they don't actually have to watch you. But it really allows us to just step into the mic, and I feel like we're stepping into people's soul. Music is like food for your soul and the spoken word. And when we're able to speak into the mic, get into your ears, get into your mind, and really talk to you about not just the stock market or business, but really talk to you about trials, tribulations, mindset, money mindset things. It really allows us to connect with you on a deeper level because you're able to just listen and focus and really hear what we're saying and allow it to resonate with your soul. So that's what I love about the spoken word and podcasting.
You have great branding across the board. It's The Brown Report on Facebook, YouTube, and even your podcast is named The Brown Report. When you made your video that I saw, you said this in the video: take consistent action with what you have, sacrifice to get what you want out of this life. Be a scientist with your business, keep testing in your business, keep getting better. How did you learn that?
I learned it through, I hate to say it's common sense because there's a joke that often say common sense isn't that common, but it really goes back to my network marketing days. When I was in network marketing, I'll never forget my cousin, Ken Glenn. He said, he was like my upline leader, so to speak. And I remember he wanted me to do a presentation. And I was like, I've never done a presentation before. I don't know if I'm ready. And I just tried to like chicken out of it. And he said, you got to be bad before you can be good. And you got to be good before you can be great. So you might as well get bad out of the way. And I thought it was just so profound to me at that moment. And so I was like, I guess that does make sense. Like you have to be bad first. And so when do you want to stay at bad, or do you want to go ahead and get it out the way so you can be better? And then the common sense kicks in where I thought, well, if I do it once, I'll never be as bad as the first time because I'll learn something from it. So time number 2 will inherently be better than time number 1. And time number 3 will inherently be better than time number 2. And so I looked at my business, with the internet and different things like that the same way. If you look, my first website, it was atrocious, but I had to have a website. I couldn't improve a website if I didn't have one in the first place. So I realized I had to have something to even improve. So it's like, just get something out there. And then I allowed it to consistently get better. And so that's how I look at my business. This is how I look at life. You never know what's going to turn out. But I know if you do nothing, if you don't get started, I can almost guarantee you what the result of that'll be. So I'm always about testing in my business, trying something new. And I can always change it, improve it, go back. But the key is just trying something and getting some data, getting some feedback, and then self-correcting. Another thing I noticed, I heard another speaker say this, and it really resonated with me. I don't remember who it was, but it was basically the sense that when you buy a computer from a store, whether it's an iPhone, whether it's a new Microsoft computer, most of the time when you get home and open up the box and connect it to the internet, what's waiting for you? A software update. And so you're thinking, how in the world did I buy a brand new computer, the newest version, and it already has a software update? And the reality is, some of the biggest companies put out things that they know are broken. They know it's broke. They know it doesn't work perfectly, but they don't let it stop them from taking it to the marketplace, and they'll find an update, a software patch for it later. And so I try to adopt that same mindset and philosophy in my business, that I'm putting my stuff out there. It may not be perfect, but we can improve upon it and fix it later. But it's definitely good enough right now. I know it can help people just the way that it is right now. And then it can help more people as we improve it, but it has to get out to the marketplace.
Where did you learn to do business? I know you've talked about network marketing, but I'm talking about the online piece, building your coaching programs, having the YouTube presence you do, the Facebook group that you have, the different coaching programs. Where did you learn to do all of that and do it so well?
Interestingly enough, what sometimes looks like a disadvantage can be your advantage. So when I got started, remember, I was moved back home with my mom. I'm broke. I had to get a job. And so when we started, when I say we, I think about some of the team members I have on my team, but it was really just me. I just speak in third person. So when I started to learn this industry, I remember putting out a filler to all my friends and saying, hey, I wonder if anybody knows how to build a membership website. And everybody's like, oh, I can build you a website. I was like, but how do you build a membership site where people pay, they get access? If they don't pay, they don't get access. Nobody knew how to do it. Then I'm like, well, how do you create these videos and do it? So nobody knew how to do it. So to make a long story brief, I started researching how to do everything myself. So I built my site from scratch. I started learning about WordPress from scratch. I started learning about membership plugins and software from scratch. I started learning how to shoot and edit videos from scratch. And I remember when I wrote my first course, everybody was like, if you write a course, I'll buy it. I wrote a course. Nobody bought it. Then I made it 50% off. Nobody bought it even then. And so I was like, okay, I know I have a great product. How do I market it? I really just started studying some of the best internet marketers out there. I was like, what do they do? What are they saying? What does their site look like? And I really just started there's an old saying that goes, R&D stands for research and development. And then we had a joke in the network marketing world that it stands for rip off and duplicate. So I would look at other people's sites, look at their sales process and see how could I rip off and duplicate it, but not rip off as in like I want it to be the exact same way. I would look at it as a model and say, how do I make this my own? How do I make it my brand? Basically, if I could sum it up in one phrase, I would say I reverse engineered successful people. I just looked at what they were doing and I reverse engineered it and put my spin on it.
I think about that video and where you are now. It's such a testament to your soul, your spirit, your drive, and your ultimate faith in so many things. How important is faith in your entrepreneurial journey?
I think faith plays a big part because when you're down and out and you're not making any money and you have to move back in with your mother like I did, sometimes all you have is your faith. Didn't have a lot of friends. You're kind of embarrassed to talk to your friends about what happened at that point. So it's kind of a lonely place. And I think my faith helped me get through some of those dark times when I didn't have any money, when I didn't have any food at times. I remember having to go to Panera Bread just to eat the free samples that they brought by. And I was in there with like a full suit on because I was in there looking for a job on the internet, using their free Wi-Fi and eating their free samples. You know, when you're down at your lowest sometimes, it's your faith that you have to lean on to get you through. And even then, I would say, God, what are you trying to tell me, right? Because some people lose all their money and say there is no God or it's everybody else's fault. But for me, I just took a hard look and said, what were you trying to tell me? And I also realized what the man up above, at least for me, what he was trying to tell me was basically, I guess what I want to say is he was trying to tell me that if you're this young with this much money and this is how you're acting with it, I need to humble you before I give you more. Because again, I moved to the suburbs. I bought a car on 20-inch rims. I didn't really respect my elders because I felt like I made more money than them. So I felt like I was smarter than everybody. I really was not a guy that you would have wanted to know or be friends with back then. And I feel like that was the best thing that God could have did for me, which was humble me, make me lose all my money, really break me down to eating free samples at Panera Bread, moving back in with my mother. And so now that we're making money this time around, I'll never forget a friend of mine when I was working a full-time job at a Comcast. Actually, I was a regional manager for Comcast. And my buddy, Jamie Hutchinson, said, he was like, man, how do you stay working here? And you just did like about $500,000. Part-time while you're working a full-time job, because I was his boss or manager, I should say. And I said, it's nothing to me now. You know, like I've made money, I've lost money. Like money doesn't really dictate how I make my decisions. And I was still at that job because I wanted to help some people get promoted. I wanted to help my team get into leadership positions. And so when I left, about 4 or 5 of my guys, I believe, were all promoted to different leadership positions throughout the organization. And so my point is, if I was not that humble person, if the Lord didn't humble me, I probably would have been that guy that walked into my boss's office, cussed at him, said, I'm out of here, I'm quitting today, I'm the man. I probably would have been some bumbling fool and idiot. But I'm just so glad that the Lord humbled me and has brought me back to this spot to where I can appreciate the wealth, but not be an idiot about it. So I think faith plays a big picture in this journey to wealth, because really having wealth means having responsibility that you're going to do the right thing with that wealth.
You had the foresight back when to actually make a video the day you moved back into your mother's place. And you even said in a later video, you can see how my spirit was low, my energy was low, you were broken, but you still had that bit of resolve to turn it around and go for it. Why do you think it is that people give up on the entrepreneurial journey?
I think people give up on the entrepreneurial journey because they don't really want it. I think it sounds cool. I think it's fun to say I'm an entrepreneur. I think it's fun to say like, oh, I own a business. But if you don't really know why you're building a business, then it's not going to be enough to get you through the tough times. So what do I mean by that? So, for example, for me, my mother is broke and I had to move back in with her. So we were like double broke, if that makes sense. But she's an awesome woman from a human being standpoint and a spiritual standpoint. But when it comes to money, single parent, raised 2 boys, I don't think she ever made over $50,000. And she didn't have a lot. At an early age, I started saying, okay, I'm not born on this side of the tracks. We don't have 2 parents, right? So we don't have 2 incomes in the house and et cetera. So I realized at a young age that one day my mother's going to be old. She's going to need financial help. Maybe she's going to need, medical attention. I started looking at, my kids. I don't have any now, but I said, who's going to break the financial poverty chain for my family? My brother has some unique stuff going on to where he may need some financial help. And so at a young age, and even now, I started to realize like this isn't about money for me. And so when people don't know why they're doing it, it's easy to get knocked out. But for me, if I quit, I already know someday my mom's going to need financial help. I know she's going to need help with medical bills. I know that I want to be around and be present for my kids without having to run off to work. I know that I want to give my wife the option to retire early and for us to live a good life. I notice that people who have money are normally more healthy. If you look at some of the wealthiest people, how come their skin always looks so good and et cetera as they get older? Because they got the personal chefs, they got the best food, they have the time to exercise. It's not that people without money don't want to exercise. They're usually so tired from working all the time. And so this thing for me is so much bigger than money, that being knocked down once or twice wasn't going to stop me from the big picture 30, 40, 50 years from now. And that's breaking the chains of financial poverty in the Brown household. That's being able to take care of my mother, being able to afford the best medical care for her in her older ages. And I don't want to ever look the people I love in the eye and say it's because I got tired, because I didn't feel like recording a video, because it was hard. People have been through way harder stuff than what we go through as entrepreneurs. And most people are just so soft that they're willing to give up on their dreams and goals. And I'm just not a person that's willing to give up on my dreams and goals. And I think most people think it's cool to say that, oh, it's my dream to retire my mom or my spouse. It sounds cool. But I think deep down inside, we're going to find out if you really want that or not, because life is going to test you. Business is going to test you. And it's going to say, do you really want to retire your spouse? Do you really want to retire your wife? Do you really want to be home for your kids? It's going to challenge you. And what it's really saying is, you have to figure this out if you truly want that, because nothing worth having is going to be easy. And if you're willing to pay the price, willing to figure it out, willing to go through the pain and come out on the other end and you can have it, I think halfway through people realize like, yeah, I'm not really willing to go through the pain. I really don't like learning new stuff. I really thought this was going to be easy. The worst entrepreneur to me is the one that says, I want to make a bunch of money. I want to start a business so I don't have to do anything. Like what? We work harder than our employees. We work harder than anybody in the business. So if you're starting this just because you don't want to have to do anything, you want to get paid to do nothing, too many people have just sold them this false dream. And we're not really peeling back the layer of what it really takes, the long nights, the early mornings, figuring out blogging, podcasting, YouTube, tweeting, going live, being able to public speak. Sometimes I don't even like hearing my own voice, but we're going to do this interview anyway. You know, we just power through stuff. So I think most people quit because they're just not willing to stick it out, and they don't really want what they say they want.
What are you working on now, Jason?
You know, like you said, I'm a scientist in my business. We just moved everything over to what we call Power Trades University. So we're building out, or we have built out, our own online university for stock market education. And I really want to build a world-class hub for everything stock trading, options trading, how to take control of your own 401k or IRA. We're building that whole platform out. Well, we've built it out. We got about 4,000 users or so on the platform now. And I'm really excited about where that's going. And then because I'm also passionate about marketing, because I see so many business owners, businessmen, women trying to build their business. They don't know how, they don't understand the tech. They don't understand sales, marketing, funnels, etc. I ended up starting another company, and it's funny because you can see the process. I started what's called 315 Marketing Solutions. I'm really passionate about teaching people some of the marketing solutions that we've implemented in our business that allowed us to grow to just under $500,000 while working a full-time job. And then being a mad scientist, as soon as I bought that website and then built it, I was talking to a young lady and we were talking about our funnels. I was like, well, I don't really use pre-built funnels and templates. I'm like, we build all our funnels from scratch. And so I was like, So I went and bought the URL funnels from scratch. So you can see how my mind works. So like if you go to 315 Marketing Solutions, like built that, then I'm like, wait a minute, I like funnels from scratch better. So then I bought funnels from scratch and I'm building out that website. So I don't even know which one I'm going to use, but my point is I'm always a scientist. I'm testing stuff. I'll see which one I like better. I already locked down both of the Facebook pages and YouTube channels. So I'm just always testing. So that's probably my next biggest project, is starting to build out some courses and some training around how to build a successful business online, but not just any successful business, build it the way that I've learned how to do it, and with the level of authenticity that I was able to put into my brand and my business.
How can people find you? I've said it before, but I want you to say it. And how can you help?
Yeah, the best place that people can find me at is thebrownreport.com. That's my homepage. From there, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook and everywhere else. But I always like to send people to my hub so that they can learn everything about me. If they are interested about the market, they can learn about that as well. Right at thebrownreport.com. And even if you leave the word "the" off and just type brownreport.com, it still comes to me anyway.
Parting advice for the listeners.
Parting advice for the listeners. I would just say be authentic in your brand. If you're building a business online, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to step in front of the camera, the microphone, whatever the medium you're choosing to get your message out there. And then I would also say be crystal clear on what you want from your business. Be crystal clear on what you want from your business and have fun building it. It's a lot of work, but I think it's a lot of pressure that people put on themselves. If you think about it right now, whatever your current situation is, you're already living failure. So people always go into online business and say, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, you'll have your current situation if it doesn't work, because right now it doesn't work, right? So why are you stressing so much about it? Just have fun. Put it out there and let's see what happens. Worst case, you'll be doing what you're doing now, which is what? You're probably working a job, listening to podcasts, and you're not dead, right? You still have your health, your family, and hopefully your faith. So don't put so much stress on the business.
Jason Brown, this has been a fantastic interview. I'm so honored that you joined us here on the Boomtank for the show. Really appreciate everything. Can't wait to support you further. Just a wealth of wisdom and powerful, powerful believing. Thank you, Jason. And thank you for tuning into the Boomtank Business Show. I so appreciate you listening. If you like the show, please leave a 5-star rating and some nice comments on iTunes, or subscribe on Stitcher or Google Play, and tell a friend. Join Boomtank's email list at boomtank.com and download my free ebook, The Best Online Tools to Grow Your Business, containing over 75 plus hot links to grow your business now. Be sure to download your free online public speaking PR jumpstart with a sample media one sheet at boomtank.com too. Like Boomtank's Facebook page at facebook.com/the Boomtank. Remember, get seen, get heard. Visibility is the lifeblood of your business. Until next time, free your mind, unleash your spirit, build your life, create your business. It really is your show. See you right here on the next episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Boomtank Business Show. Go to boomtank.com and get our exclusive tips and ideas to help you achieve success. It is time for you to launch your dream business and life now.